Hey guys, how you doing? Clear Blue Realty coming back at you with another video. Do me a favor, please hit the like button, like and subscribe. So I just wanted to do a quick video and talk to you guys about a deal that I have on the table. At this time, I don't have a lot of deals on the table, but I have one good customer, and right now we're at the offer phase. So actually found two houses that this customer likes, and the first house she likes more than the second house. The first house is completely renovated, brand new tiles, backsplash, bathroom is nice. It's all renovated, brand new hardwood floors, and has a lot of space. So she fell in love with it. We submitted the offer. Now, just to give you a little bit of insight of the offer process. So I submit the offer. I use a certain program in order to submit the offer. It's a program called Dotloop. And so the listing agent on the other side got the offer, and it looked like he was ready to go. And he said, hey, send me the contract. Let's move things forward. So I was like, hey, I told my buyer, I said, hey, things look good. We have the listing agent on the other side saying to send us the contract. So I sent the contract. There was like a 2-day delay. Then he came back and he said, hey, we're gonna do best and final by giving another 48 hours. And I was like, best and final? Submit your best offer. And in this market, I just want to let you guys know what you're seeing a lot of, and I don't really know if it's pressure from the sellers or if it's pressure from the agents themselves or from the agency where the agent might be working, try to get as much money as possible for your seller. And I'm going to be on that side soon too when I start to get some listings. But just want to talk to you about some of the pressure that goes on, because the agent came back and said, hey, can you cover the difference between what the house appraises for? And just from listening to that, I'm like, and how many times he says, well, what if the house appraises for a certain dollar amount? Because I said, he probably already knows what the house is going to appraise at, and especially if you do a CMA, you can get an understanding of where the house is possibly going to appraise at. But I think he knows that the house is going to appraise for less than what we offered. And can we come up with some cash? And it sounds like pressure when you go back to your buyer and you say to them, hey, do you have any money to cover in case? And so I just have to make sure that my clients know that I'm not pressuring them. What I'm doing is I'm just reflecting or sharing the information that I received from the other side. So I had a talk with my buyer about that, and they said, absolutely not, don't want to come up on extra money. And most of the time, that's what the buyers will say, that the ones that I come in contact with. So I went back to the listing agent, and he said, and I said, yeah, I said, no, it's not something that my buyer can do, but I have another trick up my sleeve that I will tell you guys later on down the road. But it's really a balance of trying to pretty up the offer a little bit, even when you don't have the availability of maybe even going up in price or just offering cash, because basically that just turns into a check. You take let's say $5,000 or $10,000, and you say, here, Mr. Seller, after the closing or at the closing, here's a check for $5,000, here's a check for $10,000, because the mortgage company is not going to come up and just give you an extra $10,000 to cover a shortfall in the appraisal. Just so I've never seen it happen. So that's where we're at right now with that property. But I spoke to my buyer and I said, you got some sellers out there that's a little greedy. This is the market to be greedy in, because there's a shortage of real estate properties, and there's a plethora of buyers out there. who want homes. So demand is short, but no, demand is high and inventory is low. So where we're at right now is we're looking at another property. It's a nice property, but it's just not as fixed up, and it's just not as nice as the other property. It has more square footage. This call it property number 2, has more square footage, and it has everything that the first house has. It just doesn't have the fixtures. It doesn't have the kitchen isn't as fixed up as as property number 1. But you could tell if you go in there and you change out the carpets and you paint it up, it probably would just look just as nice. And then you know, over time you fix up the kitchen. And this is what I talk to the buyers about all the time. Don't look at a house based off of your initial perception of it when you walk inside. Look at what the house could be. If the house is solid, it doesn't have any issues with plumbing or with piping and with electricity, and there's no leaks in the basement, and you don't have any of those issues or issues with the roof, and that's a solid house. You might have a solid house on your hands. So if you have a solid house and this is something that maybe can grow and give you some equity later on down the road, you got to consider this. Put this in your book of, hey, this is a possible. And so what we did is we went after the possible home. And I went back to the buyer and I said, look, I said, they're going back and forth with us with this first property. They want us to come up on the offer. They're not really looking at our offer like it's the most attractive offer. They might have a cash deal on the table. Let's look at this other house. It's not as pretty. It's not as polished and touched up. It has everything that you need, though. It has the essentials. So we went, took a look at the other place. She said, you know what? This is a solid house. I like it. And I said, okay, what do you want to do? You want to put an offer in? So we submitted an offer. And the offer was accepted right away. And there could be many reasons why the offer was accepted right away. They might know that. They might think or know that there's something wrong with the property. There might be something, but we're going to do a homeowner inspection. I have every person that I deal with, every buyer, I have them do a home inspection. And if there's a home inspection, we just got to negotiate from that point. But we could sit around waiting for the house and then sit there with our hands empty when they come back and they say, nah, we're not going to go with you. But the funny thing is, we're right in the middle of these two deals. So either one of them can come back to us and say, okay, let's move forward. The first house, they could come back and say, hey, we're ready to go forward with your offer. The second house already said that they want our offer. Once we send them the contract, I think we're going to be moving forward, and I'm going to be doing that tonight. I'm going to send that contract out tonight. So right now, that's where I'm at. Wish me luck. I hope I get this deal and get it over the finish line, get it to closing, and get this family their first new home, their first-time home buyers. I deal with a lot of first-time home buyers. So, hey guys, if you got any questions, please hit the like button. I'd like to hear any feedback that you guys have. Have a great day. Stay positive. Keep your head up. All right. Thank you.